Okay, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with 3 emotionally regulated breaths. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale on my descending count of 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Lola. All right. What you see in front of you is a chart. For the regular attenders, you know how this goes. You have an untrained brain. You were born with it. It's seeking survival, comfort, and safety every single day. I am here to provide an opportunity for you to not let that be your neurological existence on a daily basis. Level 1 through 4, you are strengthening your brain during daily neural reps, as well as inculcating the 74 principles of real leadership so that you are ready and prepared for excellence at level 5. Level 5 is where you continue to sharpen your excellence. People say if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Well, first you got to get ready. And level 1 through 4 is how you get ready. It takes 307 days if you have no restarts. If you have restarts, it's going to take longer. And your restarts are simply an indication of how comfortable your brain has been wired, how much you want to be safe, and how survival mode your brain is actually in. My pleasure. And good morning to you, Daisy, as well, and Lacey. And so you're training your brain from level 1 to level 4 to go from untrained, comfort-seeking survival brain to excellence brain. And then at level 5, you stay at level 5. And people have asked in the past how long you stay at level 5. As long as you want to be excellent. If you don't want to be excellent long term, then you can stop. You can go back to your natural inclination. You can go back to being regular, untrained, safe, and comfortable. It's your choice. If you want to have an excellent brain with a regulated emotional center, which makes your SGACC sit at neutral all the time, then you will continue to do the work. If you don't, your brain is a muscle and it can atrophy and it can get weak and it can go right back to a lopsided existence. The choice is yours. Should you decide that you want to start at level 1, turn around Dr. Instagram is where you need to contact me so that I can give you that information. All right, let me get my next photo for today. And it is here. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me. I am the bad motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. And today's topic is ependymal cells. We are closing out the 4 major glial cells today. I am going to be going quickly. I will do a summation at the end. And then if you have any questions after I do these other 2 graphics, then we can discuss them at that time. This is a live that will require you to have neuro strength. So my lives are sponsored by the Elements. Drink water. Go ahead and take your first sip of water for today. I say drink water, and then you type in drink water, and you drink water too. All right, so what are ependymal cells? Ependymal cells are specialized glial cells that line the brain's ventricles and the spinal cord. They help produce and circulate CFS, which is cerebrospinal fluid. Good morning, Monique, Jared, and Daisy. If I haven't said that already. Yeah, I said Daisy. Okay, you were saying drink water. So they act like filtration and flow managers. They keep the brain's internal environment clean and moving. So they flush the cerebrospinal fluid through the systems, the spinal cord and the ventricles of the brain. Now think of them as the brain's fluid management and sanitation system. Now, yes, they are different than the microglial cells, and I'm going to get to that at the end just so that everybody understands the astrocytes, the oligodendrocytes, the microglia, as well as the ependymal cells. So there's no drama, there's no spotlight. They just do their job, flush through. But if they fail, the entire system becomes congested, sort of like my nasal passageway. Thank you, sinusitis, to the U.S. military. So why this matters for real leadership? Because excellence requires clear internal flow, clean inputs, as we found out from the microglials. If you are excitable, they are never going to go back to base. They just going to be cutting and pruning and messing up all kind of stuff. So removal of mental waste. removal of mental waste. That's what they do. And it is continuous circulation of updated information. So ependymal function, your ability to keep your internal system clean and moving. Neural clarity. People are always impressed with how much I can do in my brain. And somehow, again, as I've mentioned, people say, oh, you're just lucky. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. It's never, damn, you just like that. Like you like for real, for real. I never get that. It's just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're just so lucky that you can just, it's not luck. It's neuro sweat equity every doggone day for thousands and thousands and thousands of days. Thank you, Jared. Thousands and thousands and thousands of days of making a harder decision in spite of how I feel, in spite of what's taking place, to make that decision every single day for excellence. That's why it's such a fluid system, because I work on it daily throughout my day. So the things that match, that map the, yes, okay, got it. The principles of real leadership that this goes along with are eliminate clutter. I tell y'all, clutter on the outside means it's cluttered up here. If you look around and you got clutter somewhere, you got clutter up here. So you got to clear the clutter out up here with a brain dump, and then you'll be able to clear the clutter out up here. Because people always say, dang, I don't know where to start. I don't even know what the first thing is to pick up. Pick up a piece of paper and a pen and do a brain dump. Do a brain dump and then clear up here, clear out here, and then get systems in place so that never happens again. Because otherwise it's going to happen again. If you don't do some root cause analysis as to why you keep having to clean up a bunch of shit every quarter, it's because for 89 days, you didn't clean up anything. And then on the 90th day, you say, oh, I got to clean up my desk. I got to clean out this closet. I got to clean out this pantry. When if you put everything back, once you use it and you discard what's old or complete using what's old and finished, now you ain't got no problems. I use the mail example, and I'm saying when the mail comes in, look at it. Keep what you need and recycle the rest. You should never have this much mail unless you was on vacation. The stack should never, I don't care how many people living in the house. Now you can get paperless and everything else. So you don't need 90,000 emails. Read them, delete them. It's real simple. So eliminate distractions. People in your life are distractions. I said it. The people in your life are either empowering you or you're enabling them. That's how that goes. Y'all either empower each other or enabling each other. And if you're enabling each other, then the brain ain't going to brain like it needs to. It's not going to function like it needs to at all. Under no circumstances. Removal of mental waste. Wow. Yes. And get organized and stay organized. Stay organized. Get there and stay there. But you know why you can't stay organized? Come here. Let me tell you something. Y'all listening, this is a real technical system. You can't stay organized after you get organized because you are surrounded by disorganized people. None of y'all are organized. And as a result of that, disorganization becomes the new normal. And even when you get your stuff together, they say, I'm going to get my stuff together. And everybody had their stuff together until what? Life starts lifing. And now you got to keep it together while shit is falling apart. So it's simple. You're like, oh, look at my desk. Look at my house. It's so clean. And then you get that one phone call from your adult child. And then you get that one phone call from that family member that need a place to stay. And then you get another call. And then you go to work and somebody quit. So now you got to do twice the job until they hire somebody else. You still going to be organized and stay organized? Now, without neuro strength, you're not going to be able to do it. Y'all have been on lives, and Nola and I have gotten home at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on both lives. After 1 o'clock in the morning, after getting 2 hours of sleep. I done had 22-hour days multiple times and still am up on the live, not like, but literally with the message. With the message. Why? Because that's how strong my brain is. That's how fluid my fluids are. My, what is it? Damn it, Ependymal cells. I am working on not holding on. I don't need it. Yes, we'll just tell the truth. So remove obstacles and grow continually. So all of the principles of real leadership that help with the ependymal cells are this. Eliminate clutter, eliminate distractions, get organized and stay organized, remove obstacles and grow continually while life is lifing. While life is lifing. Wildlife is lifing. And that's why I say I'm the baddest motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth, because it's wildlife is happening. Not as Sheree from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think it was season 1 or 2. I don't watch it anymore. But she says, life ain't always going to be berries and cherries. That's what she said. And I don't quote her often. I think that's the only quote I actually say of hers. But she is correct. So if flow stops, pressure builds. If pressure builds, regulation declines. So the pressure of everyday life is why regulation declines. Now there is no flow. And so if regulation declines, execution suffers. That's why you have to say to everybody in your life, you got 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells, a 1-to-1 ratio, because they're stopping your flow. They are stopping your flow. You are mentally constipated because of that. I said it. You are. Can't get nothing going. Can't get nothing going. Yes, rainbows and unicorns. It's not. Most days it isn't. So what? What they got to do with being excellent? Anybody can be excellent in a supportive, healthy, high-functioning environment. That's no-brainer. Do it when everything is falling apart. The shit is hitting the fan. You got a tsunami, a tornado, a hurricane. The tectonic plates is just moving all kind of stuff, an earthquake and everything else. Now where your excellence at? Where your excellence at with all of that coming at you and you swimming upstream, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership? Who is you then? Is it flowing like water, or are you kind of doing like this? Which one is taking place? So in a dysregulated brain versus a regulated brain. In a dysregulated brain, you got blocked flow. You hold on to old thoughts. Yes, you can, Jared, and you doing it. Are they gone? Okay. Ain't no sports on now. People don't know what to do. I do Saturday. I looked, that says the end of the month. Trolls gonna be trolling today, but they not getting in my way. Okay. No, they don't anyway. Okay. Oh, that rhyme. That's cool to say. Okay. All right, I'm back. So you hold on to old thoughts. You replay conversations. You are stagnant and resentful. You consume information, but you never process it. I'm amazed at how many people watch the news and don't know how the fucking world works. I watch the news all the time. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the global economy. What? I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday about the Patriot Act. I said, yeah, after 9/11, we had the Patriot Act in place. What's the Patriot Act? Okay. I don't even have a television no more. But okay, cool. Be informed. Mental clutter accumulates. Mental clutter accumulates. You people don't even realize how much mental clutter they got in their brain. They just holding a bunch of stuff that they don't need. The news is informing you of what exactly. And if you're going to watch it, do something about it. If it's information, take the information in and take action afterwards. No action. You could have just used that time for something else. That is mental congestion. You got old thoughts, you're replaying conversations, you're stagnant and resentful, you're consuming information, ain't using none of it. You got mental clutter. That's stagnation, that's congestion. So neurologically, what's happening is you have poor cognitive flexibility, and cognitive flexibility is in the executive function of your brain, and poor emotional clearance. I like that word. Emotional clearance. Let me write that down. This is when I'm reading this, I'm reading it for context. And then when I say it, stuff resonates with me. Should we read newspapers for our news? No. What news you getting in the newspaper? Somebody pull up a headline on the Wall Street Journal or your local news paper. We had the Free Press and Detroit News when I was in Detroit. Pull up your if you can, Jared, because I don't know if you're at work. Pull up the Cincinnati News. What's on the front page? Tell me what's on the front page. Somebody or anywhere. Poor emotional clearance. That's what you got. poor cognitive flexibility, and poor emotional clearance, and that's why you got mental congestion. And you ain't got no nasal rinse for that because your doggone spinal fluid can't rinse and flow. In a regulated brain, you got clean flow. You process events and you release them. I did it, I'm done. This happened, I'm done. This happened, it's over. This happened, it's over. Updates beliefs efficiently. That's old news anyway. What's old news, Bridget? Updates beliefs efficiently. You do it. Here's what I used to believe. Now here's what I do believe. I believe in myself all the time. Here we go. Moves from mistakes to lessons to forward motion. That was a mistake. I now know what doesn't work. Let me create a new strategy. Yes. And then let me move forward. It clears distractions quickly. It maintains mental spaciousness. And then this is considered internal sanitation. So let me just briefly give you, and I've said this before. So I read Barbara Walters' book, Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather. Back in the day, the news used to actually be informative with a little bit of gossip in it. And so people, if you grew up in a household where I did, you got the newspaper, we got the Detroit Free Press and the Detroit News. My mother to this day still reads USA Today and click on Detroit.com. At one point, it was informing you because the information was so slow, you needed a medium to get the information to you. Now you don't need it. And what Cronkite, Rather, and Barbara Walters said is they watched them go from, you used to have a journalism degree to be a newscaster, and then you had to go and do a bunch of field work and be in war zones and everything else. And then you got that newscast desk position after years and years and years of work because you understood what was actually taking place. Now you don't have that necessarily, and now it's a 24-hour news cycle. If it bleeds, it leads. And that's where we are in the world today. So you don't know what's real and you don't know what's fake. So you have to do your own due diligence. That's what I will say. Iran hit by massive U.S. strike. Supreme leader targeted. Okay. Got it. Have we ever done that before in America? Have we ever hit Iran and Iraq before with U.S. strikes? Anybody have any? Maybe Iran Contra, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Okay. So you read for financial news. So have you caught yet that they short the stock on Friday and then it rebounds on Monday yet, Jared? Have you read that part yet? That have you also caught that when there's a merger and acquisition, the company that's doing the purchasing will their stock will skyrocket, and the company that they're purchasing stock will be lower so that they can purchase the company at a lower price point. So I'll give you an example. House of Cards is a book. Okay. Yeah. So when Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns were going down in 2008, Jamie Dimon read his book too, from not B of A, Morgan Chase Bank. Bear Stearns, when they woke up in March of 2008, at the beginning of the week, they had $18 billion in the parent company in cash reserves. And by Friday, everybody did a margin call, and they were 75 billion in the hole. And so their stock prices was up well above 100 at one point the previous year, and they pretty much Chase bought them for $2 a share. And that was March. And Bear Stearns, in 30 days after being in business for 85, there you go. After being in business for 85 years, was gone. September, they did the same thing in Lehman Brothers. And that weekend, Paulson opened the discount window, which hadn't been done since the Great Depression. And those 7 banks sat in a room and divvied up the money. And for 5 years, the U.S. tax dollars were used to keep those banks afloat until they recovered. And the people who lost their homes at most got $2,000. So if you can't touch it and go see it, this is just my personal opinion, don't go invest in it. Bernie Madoff, Enron, and everything else, because it's paper money. It's not real money. It's actually not real money. It is, who do we want to make it seem like got a lot of money right now? Who do we want? That's why stocks get shorted all the time. This one goes up, this one goes down. They're doing all kind of things behind the scenes. So it seems like it's a regulated system. And we have literally, Nola and I she had two clients. One worked for Lehman Brothers and the other one worked for Bear Stearns in New York when both of them went under. And the one person had to recover. His wife was getting ready to go on a European vacation, and he called her and said, nah, hey, don't buy the tickets, don't do nothing. We ain't got no money. The college fund, all that shit gone. We starting over today, baby. We starting over. After 100 and some years, Lehman Brothers is gone. So, yeah. And that's just my personal opinion from my research and talking to people and all of that. So it feels like it's regulated, but yeah, only invest, just like at coming to Las Vegas, only invest what you can afford to lose. That's it. Just think of it as overflow. Okay, so that's your regulated system. And I hear you and I understand it, but after reading Jared, if you read House of Cards, Liar's Poker, and one more, you might change your mind. Manipulating the system completely. I told y'all I was on a phone call it was maybe about 2 years ago, because now you see corporations buying all these rental properties, and so they were asking us to invest in rental properties in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and saying how much the buy-in was and all of that. So they get these investors to invest. You had to stay in for a year, talking about all this money you was going to make and everything else. So even when you see these corporations buying subdivisions and building and turning it into rental properties, it's a bad investment because people don't take care of rental properties. They destroy them. And they don't understand that whatever those mortgages are and all of that, those bonds were created in the 80s from Liar's Poker. And then we saw the back half of that in House of Cards in 2008 when the housing crisis went under. And so with all these rental properties, it's going to happen again. And they say the biggest lie on Wall Street is that this time is different. It switches every 10 years. This is the thing to invest in, then this is the thing, then this is the thing. And it's only a few people who end up benefiting. And then everybody else kind of get the trickle down effect. Okay, so that's what happens. So no, don't read the news. Research for your own good. And then just put pieces together. Don't just trust one source. Go to a bunch of sources. Read books that have been written on it. Listen to actual people who aren't popular, and go to small places to get your information. And then just invest wisely. Time, your dime, your mind. Okay, so here are some everyday examples. So we have what the regulated brain does, what dysregulated brain does. And so here are some everyday examples for you for the ependymal cells. And I'm going to do dysregulated and regulated. So in a dysregulated brain, you leave 4,372 emails unread. You avoid it and you feel overwhelmed. In a regulated brain, you open it, you process it, you delete it, you archive, you respond, and you move on. That's ependymal energy. You are fluid with it. It flows. It's not flowing. You have 4,732 emails and you just you're trying to search to find the email and everything else, and that's no brainer. Conflict. A dysregulated brain replays the argument for 3 days. A regulated brain addresses it, learns from it, and clears it up. Handle conflict when it occurs is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So flow is restored. It's restored. It's a conflict. You handle it. You move on. You're done. You got a system in place, and now you're back to a neutral SGACC. And then the physical space. So in a dysregulated brain, desk cluttered, brain cluttered. In a regulated space, you clear the desk and the brain flows. So that's external sanitation equals internal sanitation. And I'm saying do it the other way. And the reason why I'm saying do it that way is because you don't know what's in your brain, which is how you got your desk cluttered. Now, right now, my desk is cluttered because I am brainstorming mode. So I am in my, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And so when all of those things are taken care of, because I can only do one live a day, I can only post one brain bit a day, but they are in their stacks because I know what's taking place. And so when those stacks get down, then my desk will be completely clear. But it is neat whenever I leave the house for today. the day. So here is your Neuro Rep for today. You are going to identify one area of clutter: your inbox, your desk, your digital files, your unfinished micro tasks, and your unspoken conversations. And you're going to take 15 minutes. You're going to clear it out. You're going to be focused, and you're going to get it done. And you're going to keep it done. And now, I know some of you are thinking, well, we're always having to clean up stuff, and it depends on what region of the brain you are using. And the point is to strengthen this particular brain region right now, this set of glial cells. So it feels like the same action, but you're doing it with a different purpose. And that's going to make sure that you understand what flow feels like. So when you are having neural congestion, mental congestion, you go, wait a minute, all of this stuff, this outside sign is, so that means that my cerebral fluid is not flowing because I'm stuck. Let me clean this up. Let me clear it up so I can clean it up. And so you're going to do that with no multitasking, which is task jumping, no emotional narration, and just execution. And then you'll come back when you're done. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up a graphic of the 4 major glial cells so you get it, so you have a complete picture of it. If you want me to send you the graphics, just message me on Instagram and I will send them to you. Because even as I was going through this, I was like, yeah, but I'm still not real clear. I want to know that I know that I know that I know. And so let me put up the first graphic. Is it this one? It's this one. And I am going to go off screen so you can see it. All right. So here are the 4 types of glial cells. And we're starting with the astrocytes, nicknamed the stabilizer. So the astrocytes support and regulate neurons. They maintain the environment, they provide nutrients, balance chemicals, and they help manage the communication strength. They keep the system stable. And so an everyday example is you're in a stressful situation, but you stay ready instead of escalating it. So that's emotional steadiness. That's the astrocyte energy. You hydrate, you sleep, you eat properly. You are supporting your brain's performance. And that's astrocyte behavior. They stabilize the environment so performance can happen. So you are creating a stable environment. The oligodendrocytes, the nickname is the speed booster, and their job is to create myelinization, and myelination is myelination. And so that's the insulation around the axons, and that makes the signals move faster, both good and bad. So they wrap around the myelin, the axons, and they improve the transmission so everything is efficient and fast. Everyday example is the first time you present something is kind of clunky, but then the 50th time you do it is smooth as the other side of the pillow. So they speed up movement. So practice builds myelin, which builds precision. And I always use Nola as the example. The first time she put the IKEA mom bed together, it took her half an hour. And now because she has put so many of them together and so much furniture, that myelination is myelinating, and she can do it in about 31 to 33 minutes. The microglia, that is the cleanup crew. So a simple summary is this: the microglia are the immune cells for the brain. They remove the waste, the damaged cells, and they prune weak connections. And so remember, if they're extremely activated, you're going to have a problem because they're going to be pruning and cleaning all the wrong shit. But when you have a regulated brain, they remove debris, they fight infection, they prune unnecessary synapses, and they manage the inflammation. And so an everyday example is you realize a habit isn't serving you, and so you don't stop reinforcing it. You prune it. And that's microglial energy. And so me, back in the day, walking around with a bat and a tire iron as I became Lieutenant Thomas, I pruned that neural pathway so that that's not something that I'm doing because it didn't serve me anymore. Or you step away from toxic input, news, gossip, or negativity. That's your immune protection. And you're removing what doesn't belong there anymore. You don't want to gossip. You don't want to listen to this nonsense and this bullcrap. That's why we don't have a television anymore. And then the ependymal cells, they are the flow managers. And so they are responsible for the ventricles and the circulation of the cerebrospinal fluid. They help move nutrients and remove waste through fluid flow. And they maintain your circulation. So an everyday example is you clear your inbox instead of letting it pile up. That's flow maintenance. You process an emotion and release it instead of replaying it for days. That's healthy circulation, and they prevent the stagnation. So if you look at one sentence for each one of them, the astrocytes stabilize the environment. You have a stable environment with an astrocyte. The oligodendrocytes increase speed and efficiency. The microglia clean and protect. They clean and protect, and the ependymal cells keeps things flowing. And then when you put them all together, here's what you get. The astrocytes are the stage crew keeping the conditions perfect. And that's what you see on the graphic. The oligodendrocytes are high-speed fiber optic cables. So you get internet 50. Instead of 5K, you operate in 50K. The microglial are the security and the sanitation. And then the ependymal cells are the plumbing system. So they are making sure everything flows freely. You have a great day, Jared, as well. Okay, so we got it. Astrocytes, stage crew, keeping conditions perfect. The oligodendrocytes are the myelination, fiber optic cables, keeping everything moving fast. Microglial are the sanitation and the security, and so they come when something needs to be cleaned up, and they come to protect, but they're not there all the time. And then the ependymal cells are the plumbing system, so they're making sure everything is getting flushed out that doesn't need to be there, so everything works. If you got a clogged drain or a clogged toilet, or slow drain, so stuff piles up in the sink and then it kind of goes down the drain slowly, that means that the ependymal cells are not working. And the indication is you got clutter and chaos in your brain. You do not have emotional clearance. Now, the final graphic for today, because there is no brain bit to ensure that we finish on time. Give me 1 second, because I gotta scroll down. Where's my other graphic? Okay. Let me. So in this instance, what you're seeing is the glial cells as it relates to the principles of real leadership. And I'm confused as to why. Here we go. Okay. So in real leadership, here is how we can match a glial cell with a real leader principle. The astrocytes ensure that you are prepared. The oligodendrocytes make sure you finish what you start. They start at one end and they complete the transmission of that axon with those two synaptic connections. It gets to where it needs to get to from the axon, the synaptic terminal to the postsynaptic connection. Microglia, you inspect what you expect with the microglia, and then the ependymal cells, they eliminate and minimize stress. So this is the top four glial cells. What questions do you have about them? Again, if you need me to send you the graphics, I can do that, because I know this is a higher level of explaining something is something that we haven't talked about before, and it's not something that's necessarily talked about in general. And now all of a sudden my throat is dry. Are y'all there? Do I need to go to Instagram? I mean YouTube. I don't know why in my head I get thinking. Why I get Instagram and YouTube. Okay, message me, Daisy, so that I can send them to you. It'll be later today because we got 8 o'clock appointments and I still gotta Yes, I can. Both graphics, Nola. Okay, I think I got it. Create a stable environment, increase speed, remove the waste, and you don't need. And so you can refer to the graphics often. Okay. All right, so my question to you is today, before we get to the daily questions, is what are your top 3 takeaways for this week's learning? And take your time. Well, what are your top 3 takeaways for this week's learning as you've done the Neuro Reps and everything else? Top 3 takeaways. And I will eat my oatmeal. Thank you. Courtesy of myself in chat. On my whip. Last day in this whip. I have to get my money's worth. So we got Daisy and Monique thinking. Thinking about a time I realized all those walk together out in any kind of weather. Dr. Donna, can you show me the 4 pictures again so I can screenshot it? Lola, I can just message them to you in Instagram, and that way they'll be clear. You won't have words or nothing on them. If you just message me in Instagram, I will send them to you. Then you can just download them to your phone. You're going to click on the photo and click download. This will be a new growth opportunity. Yes, ma'am. Just message me now before we both forget. Daisy, you too, because I will be at the end of the day like, who said they wanted the pictures? And send them to all the wrong people. Thank you, Lacey. So what did y'all learn? Top 3 takeaways for this week. And also part of it is why it's so much on my desk too, is because when I'm learning, I have so many new terms that I got to keep referring to. Like, for example, I know how to say astrocytes, but these 3 took me out. So this will be on my desk until I get it, and then I will be discarding things. The legal. What legal? Out in any kind of weather. Oligodendrocytes are the network's cables for the brain. Glial cells are the support crew. Yes. Did you mean to type the legal? I know what happened. Oligodendral. It was your phone auto-correcting because it doesn't register oligodendrocytes. I told y'all by the end of the week what? Oligodendrocytes, microglial astrocytes, and ependymal cells. From Monday to Saturday. I got it. The mic didn't want to type it. No, I'm not typing that. It's the legal. No, oligodendrocytes. That's why I'd never be afraid to not know something. Because if you practice it enough, it's going to be fluid. That doggone the oligodendrocytes are going to be myelin sheathing it. Making sure you got it. I know what real leader principles are associated with them all. Monique said the astrocytes are star-shaped glial cells that help support the neuron environment. The neurons are nothing but potential without the support of the glial cells. That's right. They just some action potential. And can't get shit done without them. That's why it's a 1-for-1 ratio. By consistently doing neural reps and using the real leader principles, it helps prune habits that no longer support the neurons in achieving excellence. Yes, ma'am. That is true. All of that is true from you and Nola. And the reason why I'm asking these questions today is because of if you know what it is, now when it's happening, you will be able to use the correct terminology, the neuroscience behind it, the real leadership behind it, and then it will become part of the basal ganglia, which will make it implicit. And so then you will automatically go, hold up, wait a minute. I done myelinated the wrong doggone neural pathway. That means that my microglial done pruned the wrong damn pathway. What's wrong with you, microglia? Get it together. Get it together. You got 9,000 emails. You messing with the ependymal cells. You over here being disorganized. Ain't gonna be no flow. It's not gonna be able to go. The cleanup crew can't come in to clean up and wash all that stuff out if you ain't getting enough sleep. You sleep for the week. Sleep is for the weak. Or just those that want to sleep. I can put this back on here now. Daisy, my takeaways are the astrocyte cells that clean up my brain to me functioning. Keep, yes, ma'am. I smell hot sauce for some reason. They keep the environment steady for you, Daisy. The cleanup crew is the microglias. So they make sure everything is straight. Yes. Nola, did you have your 3? That was 2. Glial cells. Yeah, you had 2. You and it was 3. So Monique, you had 2. Nola, you had 2. Daisy, you have 1. Bridget and Lola, are y'all still on here? You had 3. What was the third one? Let me just scroll back. So what I have for you is cool. Oligodendrocytes are the network's cables for the brain. Glial cells are the support crew. And then, oh, never mind. You're correct. I apologize. I see it. I saw the third one. And I'm over here praising Tiffany about her work. You did 3? Okay, yeah. I apologize too. I was thinking of 3. You had 3 sentences. Got it. Saying what a great job Tiffany did, calling her a millennial and she an X. So now we have one millennial with us. It's Monique. She's standing strong. She is the Jared of the millennials. So she is doing this thing. Because if one can get it done, all can get it done. And what I'm really finding is how many people's brains are, not that they're not wired for excellence, but because of the work that it takes to be excellence. Otoconio helps with equilibrium. I was more talking about the 4 glial cells, Bridget. The otoconio is for a Neuro Rep. And so, yeah, you are going to have to know what these do because the role that they play. That's why I'm asking the questions, because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's 86 billion neurons. It's 85 point blocks of repeating, round up to 86 billion glial cells. And that's, who said it? You can't do it. I think Monique said it. That you can't have one without the other. So you can try all you want, but the action potential. It's a good book. Let's go. I started reading The Alchemist this morning and somehow got halfway through the book already. Well, Clutter, really the pearls. Go ahead, Monique. It's a good book. Okay. Me being consistent with my neural reps and real leader principles allows me to prune the comfort zone that distracts me. And so that pruning is coming from the microglia, Daisy. They're cleaning up. Cleaning up. Yes, it is a good book. And when you understand what a personal legend is too, when you get to the end. Don't be shocked. Are you shocked? All the neural reps you're doing, that's how you're able to get through the book. Because you got neural clarity. Yes, this is a lot for me. Yes, ma'am. I get it. I understand. It's a lot for all of y'all because how the group that raised you, my group and the boomers is their fault. Not mine. I'm just saying because I got an X, but I mean a Z. But the point is that you all had to were raised in a different environment, and so standardly, you've never had to actually have to meet the standard because the system was designed for you not to have to do it. And so now, when a standard is given to you and you can't loophole your way out of it, you quit, you pivot, you cry, you move back home, and all of that. So the fact that you're still going and haven't had to restart, even when you've been in another country, is excellence in action. Now, okay, Lacey said, takeaways. Number 1, consistently build the habit of excellence on a daily basis. All of our neural cells must be healthy, working order for neural clarity, and clean outside equals clean inside. I gotta work. And you said that. Daisy said, me being consistent. Yes, this is a lot for me. Silent generation raised me, and oh my God, yes. My grandfather was no, my aunt was the silent generation. My grandfather is the greatest generation. Lacey said, working on understanding the neural language now. Thanks. Yes. And again, if you don't have Chat GPT, Lacey, I recommend it. You could do Perplexity or Copilot or whatever one works for you. But having an AI assistant, by being able to type that in and explain what parts you don't get, the algorithm will then mesh to you and then be able to speak you back to you so you'll understand what's taking place. So in summation, before I give you your questions, no, let me just go ahead and give you your questions and then I'll summarize so we can go. I was about to create a highlight. I don't want to do that. I just want to give y'all questions. My poor little nose today. Nasal rinse is not working. All right, your 2 questions for today. What did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? And these questions are designed for you to strengthen the neural pathway to learn something every day. So the basal ganglia makes it implicit. Additionally, the second question is for you to be self-reflective in your default mode network, because that's what it's designed to do in a regulated system, so that you are ABIing, always be improving. Now, Daisy said the octonal mass also helps keep the dust out of my ear canal. Yes, ma'am. And that was just for the neural reps. I was asking specifically for the 4 glial cells, the major ones for your brain, that 1-to-1 ratio, but it does do that. Additionally, what happens with the octonal mass is as you age, it starts to deteriorate. And that's how you end up, and I know some of you said this, that you end up with vertigo. So, and I was talking to Chad about this specifically because this octonal mass came from my neuroscience class. So I asked Chad, what can you do as you age, because the octonal mass is just going to deteriorate. And so what you can start doing, because you need 3 different aspects for balance and to know where you are spatially, is that you can actually strengthen the other 2 by doing yoga balance poses. So by doing all of the bow, the tree, and the chair, and the triangle and things like that, especially triangle at level 3, and do it with your eyes closed, your balance will be strengthened, because part of it is you can't recognize where the distance of your foot anymore because the equilibrium is off. But when you start to do yoga, which I started doing that 15 years ago, it actually will support you, because even if you're used to being unbalanced, if you happen to slip or misstep, you'll be able to catch yourself because you have already strengthened your balance. So I recommend yoga for everybody, because now it actually is helping you neurologically maintain your equilibrium, even if your otoconal mass actually starts to deteriorate. So all these amazing things about our brain that we don't have. So instead of, and I know we were talking about the news on TikTok, but even if you read, and I'm reading some of the brain magazines from the public library, they have them online, it's still not giving you this information. It's giving you what people researched and all of that, but it's still not saying, okay, that's great. It's still not giving you the information that you need for the owner's manual, the operating manual for the brain. That's not there. And even with the books that I'm reading from the library, it's still, a lot of the stuff is repetitive and redundant. And then every now and then I'll find out about doggone astrocytes from somebody on the live, or the otoconal mass, or the vestibular region of the brain. The ependymal cells helps with flow in the brain. Yes. So that's what you're saying you learned. And that's what, Daisy, that's what you're saying you learned. I got it. No, that was from yesterday. Got it. So what did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? So now you know what the top 4 glial cells are responsible for. Vertigo also happens when you are dehydrated. Yes, ma'am. I learned about myself with my brain lessons. The graphics helped me to understand more than the spoken words. Yes, ma'am. You are visual. You and Regina both are visual learners. So yes, that is true. And that's why I have to do all of them, because some people, Monique learns better when she takes notes. I learned that the glial cells work as a supportive ecosystem for the neurons. They each need to be connected to something tangible, such as real leader principles, and they need strategies because we have the neurological why. Yes, ma'am. So the thing for me, as you all are finishing typing, is that a lot of these things were eluding me, and my ACC was measuring the disconnect, the mismatch. And so I developed systems to ensure that excellence could happen, unbeknownst to me, that I was actually improving my neurological state. And so now I have the applied neuroscience to package with the principles of real leadership. So as Monique has said, now you could take the science and the behavior and put it together, and you have this excellence existence that wasn't available 15 years ago, but it is now. And it is refreshing to be able to know, because if you were on a TikTok live this morning, there was a troll there of epic proportions, and TikTok never once stopped it, spammed it, wrecked it, just just let it go on and let it go on until the person was just exhausted and they didn't have anything else to type. They had about 6 things that they could type. And a year ago, I would have not responded in that way. But because I've been studying the brain for 16 months, I knew exactly what they were doing and why they were doing it. I was prepared with my graphic. And so it didn't go as planned. They did not get a hijacked amygdala response from me. Last year, perhaps they would have. Daisy said, I learned today that all the astrocyte cells are my support system. Yes, ma'am. Monique said, I learned about myself that the discipline in the neurons on the outside is silently helping my neurons meet their potential and become excellent. Yes, ma'am. So the brain is amazing, y'all. And when you learn how it functions, you can use that information to become high functioning. Bridget said, I learned that if your life is cluttered, then so is your mind. It is. Well, your mind got cluttered first, and that's how your life got cluttered. The mind is where it started at. And then the outside clutter is just the manifestation of what's happening. So it is true, but it's the opposite. A cluttered brain means that your ependymal cells aren't flushing things out. It also means that your microglia cells are pruning the wrong things, and they're always active. As a result, the astrocytes can't create a stable environment, and now your oligodendrocytes are not moving as fast, so you got all this clutter and confusion. Neuro Reps. Yes, ma'am. I learned about myself that I need to do and look up the glial cells. Yes, ma'am. Because it's 85 billion of them. Those are the top 4. Lola said, now, while I'm home, I guess I need to get my second device out so I can keep up. Yes, ma'am. That is correct as well. So let me come back on camera so I can end on time, because we got to be out of the house by 7:30. I was having a conversation with chat about something about women, and it's all women on here right now. It's only a few men here. Women learn more than men because men don't have to learn, and nothing's gonna happen to them. And part of the reason why I do this work, some people have called me a feminist. I don't know if I am or I'm not. I just want people to be empowered. Everybody. That's why I embrace diversity. But here's what I will say. As a woman, I got 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells. I'm really not concerned about eyelashes and fingernails and Spanx and all of that. Because I got 86 billion neurons and I got 85 billion glial cells. And I'm watching things in history all the way back to the Egyptians and all points in between. And there's never not been a time in history where women haven't had to do things to their bodies to be pretty. And I don't like that. I know I fix my wig because it feels like I'm looking in the mirror, but this is it. I'm not going to alter my physical appearance to be pretty when I got 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells. And I know there was a time when, shut up, you're just a woman, what do you know, But we in 2026. We're in 2026. And I'm not saying don't groom yourself. I'm saying don't deform yourself. Don't put on nothing that you can't take off. Don't alter something that can't be re-altered. And Daisy is a seamstress. You know how y'all leave extra space in the suit in case somebody get bigger or smaller. You take it in, because I used to have to do that with my pants from Ann Taylor because my waist is small. I got apple bottom, so I had to get that part cut in. So I'm saying you got 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells. And that means that, yes, you can groom yourself. I'm always saying have a neat appearance. But I'm saying don't let that be the end of anything that you do. Y'all got 86 billion neurons. You could do a lot with that and the crew, the support crew. You don't need your homegirls. You bringing everything with you up here. And I want us in my lifetime to stop doing that. And me and Chat went back and forth for about 30 minutes about it. Well, people can wear what they want to wear. I was like, this isn't about that. This is about evolving past pretty. The beauty industry is making billions and billions and billions of dollars, and you just pretty. And the reason why I'm saying that is because youth is fleeting. At some point, you're going to get old. You're going to get some wrinkles, or you're going to look crazy. So become more than that. Your brain deserves more than just being pretty and fuckable. I said it. Because it's fleeting. You're 25, 30, 40 years old, and then you get 70. Mae West did it, 80. And now you 80 gonna look like 80. I don't care what you do to it. That walk, them readers. So move past that. Have more to wake up to in the morning than that. Daisy said, I learned about myself today. I know how to brain tools to declutter all my neural pathways. And Lacey said, I learned today that neural clarity is possible. And I learned about myself that as I look at things from a neural view, the emotional triggers are leaving. And that's amazing. And so what I'm saying, and I want this on record. So when it changes neurologically for women, that's who I'm addressing today. It will be in public information. So part of my objective in doing this every day is for you to become more than an arm piece and a dime piece and somebody's something. You have the ability. We used to rule, and some women still are responsible for whole countries and states. And I'm saying you can still be amazing. Let that be a byproduct of it. But you have all these other things that you are capable of doing besides putting on some poom poom shorts and showing your tiggo bitties. Because somebody 10 years from now is yours going to need to be pulled up or lifted up, and theirs are going to be natural or fresh implants. So don't do that to yourself. Because if your value is in that, when the value changes, you're going to be stuck. And the person that comes to mind, several people, Black China and Pamela Anderson, did all that and had to redo it. And it never goes back. It never goes back. So do not let a group of men and a group of women tell you everything that's wrong with you when you were beautifully and wonderfully made. Tell you if you do all of this stuff to the outside, somehow that's going to create neural pathways. Your personality resides in your prefrontal cortex. That's where it is, the real you. And then people, you say Lil Kim, you say Cardi B, you say all these people, they should have stopped then. But who told them to start? Who told them Vivica Fox don't look the same? Who told them to start? Joan Rivers, Donda West died. What's his name? DC Young Fly's wife died getting a mommy makeover. Kids don't have a mama because she wanted to be snatched. And now she's snatched away from them babies. They got to grow up without a mama. Unnecessarily. Unnecessarily. For what? So you could get some episodic success and some phasic dopamine? Yes, that's what I said. I said Lil Kim and Donda West, Dr. Donda West, Joan Rivers, gone. Kids don't have grandmothers, they don't have mothers, they don't have spouses. For what? Botched whole show on Lifetime or somewhere. And I'm saying for what? I'm saying enough of this. Enough. Enough. Yes, you can wear whatever you want to wear, but is that your choice? Or is that society's choice? Who said put it on? Who said go get all these damn big asses? Why? Take the ass you got. You got it? That's it. That's all you got. Ass is not necessary to be in society. It's not. I'm itty bitty titty committee. That's just what it is. And when you become more, you realize you don't have to be more on the outside. A little dab will do you. So I'm compelled to say this because as I walk around Las Vegas, and yesterday it was 81 degrees, I was amazed at all of the women who did not have clothes on in all of the age groups. Boomers, X's, millennials, and Z's, and none of the B's, the A's. I was amazed at how many different ethnicities and age groups were trying to be pretty and sexy. I'm not saying don't wear makeup. I wear red lipstick. I'm not saying don't take care of your skin. Wow, 81, thanks. 81, thanks. What you mean, Bridget? So I'm saying this as 12 people are on my live. It doesn't work. Asian women used to bind their toes so their feet could look smaller. They used to put corsets and pull and pull and pull. Now we got Spanx and we got and they're classifying it as maintenance. What maintenance? What exactly are you maintaining by going in and getting chemical peels and getting all your freckles and everything removed? What are you doing by that? What are you doing by every time you go under anesthesia, there's a risk of death. Voluntarily going to look crazy. Take that energy and that money and invest in your neurological pathways. Because everybody looks the same. I can't tell any of the female rappers apart. I have no idea who the fuck they are until somebody puts their name at the bottom because they all look exactly alike. They all look exact. I have no idea who they are. I know back in the day you could tell the difference between MC Light, Yo-Yo, and Queen Latifah, and Moni Love, and Salt and Pepper, and Spinderella, and Foxy Brown, and Lauryn Hill. We knew who they were because they were them. we could tell the difference between Nia Long and Lisa Ray, and we knew the difference, and now we don't. Everybody looks like a Kardashian in different kind of shades. Oh no, who I saw pictures. Nola showed me pictures of somebody. I said, who is that? I had no idea. Dawn from Dirty Money. I said, who? I had to go look at the before and after photo of her. I said, ain't no way that's Dawn from Dirty Money. That ain't no way. And everybody say they should have stopped. They should have, but why are you saying they look good in the current photos then? Y'all encouraged them. And so they went back and did it again. And did it again. 1973, all original parts except for some of these teeth. That's it. You need teeth to chew. So I'm saying one of my objectives, my objective is for women to start to understand how amazing their brain is so we can evolve past pretty. Everybody goes on concert. Everybody dressed like a hoe. Bodysuits and ass out. And all for what? What that got to do with the song? You ever been to a Sade concert? I have. Sade get on that stage with her 4 little people. I couldn't love you more. You give me. Okay. Did she hate everything else about her? Why she hate her nose? Regina has a bigger nose. Michael Jackson had a bigger nose, and then he almost couldn't breathe. So when people are regulated, then we're not talking about each other's nose. People talk about my nostrils all the time, or try to anyway. But when you know who you are, then people can't tell you who you ain't. Exactly. So that's all I'm saying, is I'm saying dysregulated brains have you doing biased, dumbass shit, and then you regret it. And now you can't do anything. So then you're 10 toes down on it. I'm not saying don't put on a bra. If your boobs got to be tucked in your panties, lift them damn things up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying going to alter yourself for non-health reasons, for you to be a different person. If you're going to be a different person, be the real you. Be the real you. Because that's a different person from the other person. Don't believe me? Look up all the female rappers right now. You're going to see they all look the same. They all look the same. For what? And it became an insecurity. Okay, well, people say I look like a man. You know what I say? I look like my daddy. You're right. I do look like a man. I look like Leslie Darnell Thomas with a wig on. And that man was fine. Look at him. I took care of that face he gave me. What I'm saying is, I hear what you're saying, Monique. And what I'm saying is, when you start to focus on the inside, that's why you halfway through The Alchemist. Because you start focusing on the inside. That's why. Yes. And that's because it became the new normal. And so they say I'm bringing sexy back. I'm bringing brains back. I'm bringing all natural back. So that, and one thing that Chat and I said, and I'm going to go, is that the young ladies, when they see me, always tell me I look so well put together. And I'll have on my uniform, my black long sleeve t-shirt from H&M, some Lucky Brand jeans, some patent leather shell toe Adidas with a leather coat and a scarf. Pashmina with my hair pulled back in a ponytail and some red lipstick and sunglasses. And they will literally say, "Oh my goodness, you're so well put together. You're so well, going Ross, going whatever, grocery store, wherever, you're so well put together." And I asked Chat about it, and Chat said what they're looking at is they're saying, so you're saying, yes, low confidence with a high title. So what I'm showing them is that you ain't got to keep this shit up forever, because it's exhausting to put 3 layers of makeup on, 2 hours in hair and makeup every day just to walk out the door. So they could see that I don't have to keep this up. You don't, because you evolve into a whole, complete, wise woman. And that's not necessary anymore. Yes, brains are sexy. I agree, Lola. So I'm just saying it. I'm saying do it for you. When I put my red lipstick on, that's for me, not you. Because I found something that don't have mica in it and my lips don't swell up anymore. So by no means, I told Chad, I said, Chad, I got short skirts. I got high heels. I got 4.1 inch booties and just got a new pair of nude stilettos to wear with my Victoria Beckham dress. So I'm not saying don't put that on. I'm saying put that on because that's who you are. I'm saying don't do it because you see 5,000 other people doing it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't degrade yourself to make it seem like you're okay walking outside looking like this. Don't metamorphosize into a face that doesn't move because people gonna talk shit. I tell you what, regulated people don't ever talk about people's physical appearance. Then it never happens. And so when you learn how your brain functions and you become high functioning, all of this is going to go away. And I'm not saying people don't need plastic surgery. I'm saying if you are in a car accident, you're disfigured, you got it. Some people actually have deviated septums. What I'm saying is that it's to an extreme. If we can't recognize you from your before photo and you weren't in a car accident, a plane crash or something else, and you just voluntarily went and did that. I saw some pictures of Cardi B the other day. I'm like, oh, hell no, she was my size. How? Okay. Got it. So, yes, one of my objectives as I close is that women recognize that they have 85 billion glial cells and 86 billion neurons, and they can be more than just pretty and fuckable. I will be back tomorrow. Higher power, God willing, and the universe. Same time, same place, safe space. Different brain t-shirt, and the link will always be for brain t-shirts inside the feed, inside the comment section. Should you desire to go get a brain t-shirt from my Amazon shop, you can just click on the link below in about an hour or less than an hour, because we got to go. And you can go get you a brain t-shirt and start having conversations. So as you sit down as a woman and talk to another woman, should you be compelled to have a conversation, just say, we can be more than that. We can be defined by more than just what we look like. We can raise the standard ourselves and be more than a pretty face and a hibernation breeding unit. That's what we can do. And then that's the after fact. You can be pretty down on the list. Smart first, pretty last. And then you might decide that you ain't got to go get a big ass. That's all. Adios.